Do you feel like life has gotten quieter after you turn 60? Do your days seem the same? Does loneliness seem to have settled in like a shadow? This video is a powerful invitation to rekindle your zest for life with practical tips, real stories, and strategies that transform your daily life. Here, you'll discover how touch, connection, purpose, and affection can rekindle your desire to live intensely even after you turn 60. If you've ever felt left out, this video is for you. Watch until the end. You will be surprised at what can still blossom within you. Loneliness, in old age, doesn't come like a scream. It comes slowly. First, with longer silences around the table. Then, with phone calls that no longer come. And finally, with that feeling that every day is the same. At 60, 70, or 80, it's not uncommon to hear someone say, "I feel like I'm no longer needed by anyone." But that's a lie whispered by absence. Because the value of a life doesn't diminish with time. It just changes shape. The problem is that in the rush of the modern world, many elderly people are left aside. Children grow up, friends leave, and routine closes in like an empty house. But human beings, even when they slow down, still have a pulse. They still desire. They still dream. And more than ever, they need to relearn how to put themselves at the center of their own story. Rekindling the joy of life at 60 or older is not about denying age. It is about facing it with courage and the desire to feel again. And this begins by reconnecting with 3 pillars that support emotional and sexual health at this stage of life: presence, purpose, and touch. Presence is being. Being where the eyes see beauty. Being with oneself, with the body that has changed, with the time that has passed, but also with everything that can still be experienced. Many elderly people discover this presence when they rediscover small rituals: a leisurely breakfast, a daily walk in the park, caring for plants, music that comes back on the forgotten record player. Simple things, but when done with intention, they give meaning to the present. Purpose is more than just occupation. It is knowing that one can still contribute, love, and learn. There are seniors who find new meaning in volunteering, helping out in schools, libraries, or community projects. Others rediscover old talents: painting, writing, gardening. There are those who reinvent themselves by studying, traveling, and even becoming entrepreneurs. The human brain continues to be capable of creating new connections until the end of life, and each new stimulus is an invitation to vitality. And finally, touch. Because the body, even with wrinkles, still feels. It still desires affection. Many avoid talking about it, but sexuality in old age does not disappear. It changes. It becomes more affectionate, more intimate, slower, but no less important. Studies show that maintaining physical contact, whether through hugs, massages, or yes, consensual intimate relations, strengthens the immune system, reduces anxiety, and releases hormones that increase well-being. Maria, for example, is 73 years old and has lived alone since her husband passed away a decade ago. For years, she confined herself to the couch and watching television. But one day, she decided to do something different. She enrolled in a dance class for seniors. At first, she said she felt ridiculous, but soon she found her laughter again. She met new people. She felt her body respond. She felt alive. Today, Maria no longer talks about loneliness. She talks about her busy schedule. And then there was Mr. Alfredo, who was 68 years old and suffered a deep depression after retiring. He felt that his usefulness had ended. Until his grandson asked for help with a school project about the city's history. That rekindled something. Alfredo began writing memoirs, became a contributor to a local blog, and now leads a reading group for senior men. He often says, "I discovered that I wasn't finished. I was just on pause." The key to rekindling the joy of living is to allow yourself to do so again. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to search. Allow yourself to laugh. And yes, even fall in love, whether with someone or with a new phase of life. And if you think it's too late, it's because you haven't yet experienced everything that can blossom after 60. The second part of this video brings practical and scientific strategies that can transform your daily life. Because the pleasure of living has no age. It just waits to be invited back. To rekindle the joy of life after the age of 60, it is not enough to wait for time to heal everything. You need to act with intention, and that means implementing habits in your daily life that have been proven to improve the mental, emotional, and sexual health of older people. Science has shown that small changes have a big impact, and it all starts with self-care. First strategy: daily movement with purpose. Studies from Harvard University show that elderly people who stay physically active have up to 50% fewer symptoms of depression. But we're not talking about going to the gym or intense workouts. Walking for 20 minutes a day, dancing, stretching, gardening, any activity that involves the body and brings pleasure activates the release of endorphins and dopamine, the hormones that make us feel alive and motivated. Second strategy: meaningful human connection. Loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. That's why maintaining real connections is essential. It's not about having lots of people around you, but about cultivating relationships with people who make you feel heard, respected, and seen. Social groups, group classes, and meetings with neighbors or family members are powerful channels for this connection. And here comes a delicate but important point: affection and desire are still alive. A study conducted by the Max Planck Institute in Germany revealed that more than 60% of elderly people who live alone reported missing physical contact, not just sexual contact, but affection, touch, and human warmth. Many reported that just a hug or holding hands made a difference in their mood, self-esteem, and even blood pressure. It's time to dispel the myth that sexuality ends with age. Yes, it does change. It can become more subtle, more based on affection, and less on performance. But it remains fundamental to well-being. Many couples rediscover intimacy when they learn to talk about their desires, their limits, and most importantly, about what they feel. Others, single, find in maturity the freedom to live relationships with more clarity and less haste. Third strategy: reconnecting with sensory pleasure. Rediscover simple pleasures, savoring a meal calmly, feeling the sun on your skin, listening to music that brings back good memories, touching a pleasant texture, experiencing aromas that bring comfort. The mind responds positively when the body is treated gently. Fourth strategy: nutrition that feeds the brain. Food directly influences mood and vitality. Eating foods rich in tryptophan, such as bananas, nuts, eggs, magnesium, spinach, avocado, and omega-3, fish such as sardines and salmon, helps with emotional regulation. Avoiding excess sugar and ultra-processed foods also contributes to mental balance. Fifth strategy: build a possible future. Even when you're over 60, there's still time for plans, for goals, for dreams. Having something to look forward to tomorrow rekindles the sparkle in your eyes. It could be learning a language, taking care of an animal, planting a garden, or even reconnecting with an old love. The important thing is not to close the doors. The future exists as long as there's breath. And when there's a sense of purpose, life responds. Finally, there is a silent but powerful key: talking. Seeking a psychologist, participating in conversation circles, writing in a journal. All of these help to organize emotions. What is named can be understood, and what is understood can be transformed. At 60, 70, 80 years old, it is still possible to live intense stories, feel butterflies in your stomach, laugh until you cry, make mistakes, learn, start over. Age does not take away the right to be happy. It only invites you to do it in a different way, with more depth, with more presence, with more truth. If you are feeling alone or forgotten, know this: you are not. Thousands of people go through this, and there is a way out. There is life. There is love. But above all, there is you. And it is because of you that everything can start again. The pleasure of living has no expiration date. It takes courage. And it only takes one step, just one, to rekindle the flame that time has tried to extinguish. Comment below: I deserve to live with pleasure, and share with anyone who needs to hear this today.